is everyone behaving? Yeah, everybody was, but there was, somebody that was saying some little stuff up there, trying to be smart or whatever like that. But it doesn't really bother me too much because that's just how it is, right? When the nurse got to say something, we don't care. We're just going to say it because we have authority, and that's how we do things down here, like that. Like I said, we don't do. Okay, I'm gonna. Oh, wait! I got a super duper treat for y'all right now. Bring it to the stage without further ado. Martin!
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. Yeah, you did it.
Yeah, I know. It's 12 p.m. here, and I just woke up, and I'm like, I emailed you, and I'm like, let me see if she's live, and then I saw it, and I was like, oh, let me quickly jump on.
I told the people, I was like, oh, he's emailing me right now. Let's get him to see if he can come up here. So, any of the questions that you had, our people, we just saw a couple of your videos. I saw with me in it. I was like, look at that's me.
Yeah, you were in it because I was like, oh my God, and you were right too, because another doctor on the Nancy show said the exact same thing you did. And I was like, well, I was glad I was right on my intuition. And I'm like, nah, I think she's being honest.
Yeah, thank you.
Feel it. So I was like, because there are some people on the internet that say a lot of things. So it's like, but I'm like, nah, there's something about this woman. She's telling the truth. And I put that in the video and I agreed with it. Yeah. I had a question regarding that injury, right? So I actually sent you just the slow motion of that video because I don't know if you see near the end. If you want to quickly watch it now, if you want.
Okay, let me find it for you.
Yeah.
Go ahead and tell the people, what you're doing over there. I see you have a huge channel.
So I'm a drama channel, but I think I do want to go into the true crime type of era. I've been really thinking about it, and I've been working on, for example, I'm working on another case at the moment. I haven't uploaded it yet, but I'm like, you know what? I think this is my lane. Maybe this is something I'm meant to do.
Yeah, you're good.
Because people really like the way I lay things out and explain things. So I'm like, maybe this is what I'm meant to get into. So I think next year you're gonna see true crime videos on my channel. So
okay, I love true crime too, and I am really gifted at being able to pick out the little nuances, and I'm pretty good at finding the guilty person by seeing the little facts and all that stuff. I'm real good at picking that stuff up. So if you ever need somebody to co-host with you and put their
for sure
free. Yes, I love talking, and I'm 52 years old. I've been around. With age comes wisdom, and there's definitely okay. Let me see here. I have so many different emails, so I think I may have messed up. You sent an email to.
It's an email with a video, a small video attached to it.
Okay.
Hey everyone, by the way.
I know. Anybody got questions for this?
I literally just woke up. Let me quickly fix myself up.
No, you're doing good. But so tell me, what was it about this whole Shanquella? What got you to talking about this? What made you?
Okay, so the first time I saw it on Lovely T's Instagram, but she had clips to it, and it didn't show the beating until the end. And in the video, it's talking about drinking, and I'm like, here we go, American news making Mexico look bad again. Because I used to live in Mexico for 4 years.
Oh wow!
So when I saw that, I was like, okay, that's what intrigued me. And then I saw that video, and I was like, what the hell?
Wow!
They really try to make her look like she died from alcohol.
Exactly, it was so staged. It was like they were showing, look at us, we're drinking. See, now that explains everything. It didn't look like it was having fun or nothing. Everything was so fake, Yeah, I didn't buy it at all.
So when I saw those new clips, and then at the last clip, she attached the fighting video. That's when I was like, whoa. And then I think a lot of us could relate to that situation. We've been in situations where our friends have betrayed us and stuff like that. I know when I was younger, I got like jumped in the bush. This was when I was really young. People betrayed it. Oh, let's hang out and stuff. And then they all got their BB guns and shot at me.
What?
Yeah, and thank God these were handmade BB guns. They weren't like real BB, like the real hard ones that hurt you. These were all handmade. So they made their own little BB guns at home, and they all just attacked me with their guns and shot at me. So I escaped and ran out of that situation, but it just reminded me of that. And then I was like, you know what? I want to cover this. I really, really, really want to cover this. I really want to push this content out here, and I think I could bring it in a different light and explain it in a different way than a lot of the other content creators have already had at that time. So yeah, and ever since then I've been like, wow, this woman just really needs justice. Her family needs justice.
Yeah.
I can't wait until that day comes. That's gonna be so good when they get justice.
Yeah.
And I hope they go to Mexican jail, you know.
Yes. Where are you at?
So at the moment I am in Vietnam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's another thing that made me relate to this situation. Like, oh, she likes to travel. I'm a traveler too, so
yeah,
I go around a lot. So yeah, it was just
thinking about like people making these plans, and two, we had heard that just the day afterward there was 2 or 3 other people that were unalived over there in Mexico, and they used this little cookie cutter alcohol poisoning thing. Like that's just a little cookie cutter excuse that they kind of sell, like these BBLs that people get.
Doing this, I learned that Mexico is really bad with that, with the whole femicide situation.
Yes,
it's so quick to be like, oh, she was drunk, it's her fault. It's so quick to be like that. Because when I was living there, I remember there was a huge feminist march, but it's kind of different from what the American feminists are going after. So I prejudged and thought it was the same thing. But now looking at this, I'm like, they were fighting for, their rights to live, basically, because a lot of them get killed over there and swept under the rug. And the statistic is really bad. I forgot the number, but a lot of cases, a big percentage of those cases don't even get sorted.
Right. Yep. And I saw the video that, Mexico is like, in some statistics, it says number 2. And in others, I saw number 5 in the world for femicides.
Wow.
Yes. And we know that Mexico is a poor country and that they are not even prosecuting or holding responsible their own people for unaliving the women over there. So what makes us think they're going to, use their resources, and they're a poor country, and we know that they are full of corruption, right? You can pay your way to get out of some things over there. So why would we think that they would take their limited resources to extradite and prosecute and, imprison some Black American people for unaliving a Black American woman?
Yeah.
I think we would do better to stand for justice in this country here and make the FBI or somebody us responsible for bringing them to justice. Because I just don't see Mexico really,
Yeah, I think the news picking it up was a big kick in their butt and made them, let's just fix this now and make it look like we're doing something, because before they weren't going to do nothing. It's alcohol poisoning.
You just tell them that. And I'm sure they probably weren't thinking that Shanquella's father was going to come up with the resources to be able to recover her body.
Yeah.
That's when they was able to get the autopsy and, bring the body back and see the damage. It was like, hey, look, this don't add up. So a lot of times when these things happen, people don't have the finances to, even get a funeral together, let alone bring back the body from another country.
Yeah, $6,000.
Yeah. So, sometimes people don't have that just laying around. Yeah. And I'm sure they was counting on that, because a lot of times, when people, they die in the hospital, so they don't have the money for the funeral, and, they just leave the bodies there, And so, if they weren't able to get it, then they wouldn't have had anything to dispute the alcohol poison. They would have no choice but to accept it. And people do this kind of stuff to get away with murder. They get away with it because, we did it over there, and, they're over here walking free, and nobody's looking for them. They're not, being held accountable, and that's offending a lot of people.
Yeah.
Have you heard anything about Dejanay being a transgender? Yeah,
I heard that rumor. I don't think that's true. There was like a edited photo of her, like one when her normal photo, and then they edited her wig out, and they probably used one of those masculine filters that you can get on your phone. You can filter yourself to make yourself look like a woman or a man, and then next thing you know, she's a bald man. I don't think she's a
transgender. No. Okay, somebody have a question for you. M. Max says, please ask Martin, being that he lived in Mexico, has he ever heard of Geraldo being a reputable news investigator, and does it take $5,000 to go to the hospital?
Good question. Okay, so I have never used the emergency, but I will say from Cabo, and I used to live in Playa del Carmen, so it's kind of like a tourist area, right? Mm-hmm. There are a lot of private hospitals and businesses, etc. And what happens is, I actually spoke to one of the guys at the hospital there. When they dial the number or something, you have multiple private doctors and emergency people coming to your place.
What?
Yeah. So they come to your place, and I don't know how it works. Do you pick one? Do one of them just come to your house and sell, hey, come to my hospital? I really don't know how it works in that sense. But private ones, they can cost, but I don't know. I don't remember I don't remember $5,000. Now with me, I had a temporary, I will say this. When I was in Mexico, I still do have a temporary resident visa. And it is so affordable to go to the doctors there. The cost is so low. But if you don't have your temporary resident visa, which most tourists do not have, it's expensive.
The
cost is higher.
Okay.
But emergency room, 5,000. I don't know if it's going to be like that in a public hospital. So
yeah.
I don't know. I remember looking this up, but it's just gone out of my head. What was the other question? Oh, Geraldo. Geraldo, I never really paid. When I was in Mexico, I'll be honest with you, I never paid attention to the news. One, it was always in Spanish. Now that I know poquito español, I'm still not perfect at it. But I never heard of Geraldo until this situation, as well as that he's an investigative journalist in Cabo. So I don't know if he would work things all the way down in Playa del Carmen. But yeah.
So I'm having a hard time to open up this document. Do you think you could send it and I'll put it up and then you could manipulate it?
Let me. Okay, so it was in this one. I'm going to
screen.
Let me see if I can forward this one.
I downloaded it twice, but now it's wanting all these other things. And again, I'm 52, so all this little technical
it's asking me for other stuff.
Yeah, like I downloaded it twice, but I can't open it. So
okay, so am I allowed to put it on? It's not the whole fight. It's like up to her neck, and it's like zooming when the camera moves.
Okay.
With that?
Yeah. Yeah. It's yeah.
But I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, but let me see. Okay. So.
Oh, can you send it to this here StreamYard?
Oh, StreamYard. Okay. Let me see.
Where you just click this link at. Somebody got on my show, John Q, and he sent it, and I just shared it on the screen. Can you share the screen there or send it?
Let me see.
That maybe.
Let me see if I can. Okay, where did I save it? Here it is. Okay. Would I just how did the other person?
I don't know how he did it. I was just grateful that he did. He just like whatever you did to click on here, he sent it, and then it was in part of my backstage, so I just clicked it, and then he was still able to manipulate it.
Okay, let me have a look and see if I can.
All right, let me see what happens if I try to download this again to see why. Oh, let me see if I can view it.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, see, it wants me to download more apps. I can't view it. It's not on the viewable something. Do you have it on your channel, maybe?
No, it's not on my channel. Let me see if I can upload it as a short. Yeah, let me do that. I should definitely be able to do that actually. But I don't know. Oh, to be honest, it's very hard to see on the short.
But what about one of your videos? Because it's the same, attack. You think if you could, if I played that part and you could show me the question that you're talking about?
Yeah,
explaining it was that once the neck was that injury happened there, she lost all control of everything. Everything just stopped. So any movement that you saw was the movement from the impact. Like if you're in a car accident, you're an unrestrained driver. When the car crashes, your body is going to be ejected because you are still in motion. So when she slung her over and snapped her neck, you saw the body, everything left. This was just the residual energy from the motion of the impact.
Okay, so this is what I saw when I look at it. When Dejanay was walking away, it honestly looked like Shanquella flipped her hair back. And I had to put it in slow-mo to really see it. And when I put it in slow-mo, because the camera moves, it honestly looks like she flipped her hair back. I was like, could that type of injury, is it like even your arms?
Yeah, everything from the neck down.
For example, like chickens, for example, I've heard if a chicken's head is contact.
Oh, you mean the movement afterwards?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So whatever signal was traveling down the electrical lines, that movement was already transpiring. So you just saw that leaving up out of her. But it wasn't a purposeful movement. This was all just the last of the reflexes.
So it wouldn't be like moving your hair back.
No. Her arms, you saw that they was moving at the same time too. Like almost like it was mechanical, not like, this kind of a thing where she's kind of flailing her arms around something different. It looked like I saw when she flapped down like that, this head part was off of her body because you can't hold your head down that low. Hers was down in her chest. If it wasn't for her head being inside of the skin, her head would have fallen to the floor because the accusation is her she knocked her head off her body. And the only reason why I didn't fall off was because it was still intact inside of the neck. But it was off of the axis. That's where it was able to hang in a position. Like you can't bring your head down like that. It's going to stop so far. You can only go so far. And then you saw the contortion in her back, the break in the back. So, that's where all that happened. And anything that you saw moving from that was just the last part of the signal that was already in motion before the signal was severed.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
It does. I wish you could see this. It's just.
And then the hair too. Remember, Dejanay was continuing to attack her head and neck, and she kneed it and elbowed it. So her head was kind of bobbling around like a one of those punching bags, right? Because this now is severed from the neck. So it could have been just the impact of her head flipping back and forth and looked like she was doing that. But there was no purpose for movement. She wasn't moving at all. That was all just motion in the body from the impact and the trauma. She was doing the thing on her.
Yeah, because watching it, I'm like, that has to be the injury. Like she literally lifted her up, boom, flipped her from there. Like it has to be the injury. But when I saw that, I wish I could see it. Not even on this phone does it justice. Yeah, actually it does. When you put it it honestly looks like she flips her hair back. I wish we could watch it and observe it together, because it looks like she got her hand and she flips her hair back when Dejanay walks to the door, outside patio door. I'm trying to figure out if there's a way. Is that guy in the chat? Did they explain?
He was here earlier. John Q, if you're out there, please come help us out here. I've been on for 3 hours and 52 minutes, so he may have turned in by now. But you're sure it's not part of one of your videos? Because you had some
no, it wasn't a part of my videos. It's in one of the videos I'm making at the moment, and that's why I wanted to get your opinion on it, because I was like, this is strange, because I had to slow it down. Because I watched it on someone else's video. I forgot who, and I was like, you know what? Like, I do remember her moving, but when I looked at it closely, I'm like, wow, it actually looks like she flips her hair back.
Yeah.
So it made me think, is it a possibility that she didn't have that injury at that point, and then afterwards they gave her injury? Let me ask you another question. Is there a chance that someone could, I don't know if this sounds silly or not, but not fully give you that energy, but a little bit give you that energy, and then they can really severe, like, you know, does that make sense? Is there a possibility that it was a little bit attached and some of the thing, or is it like fully unattached?
When you can see it, okay, so this is why I was talking about it, because I saw it when it happened. When she slung her over, her legs were crossed, so she was already in the wrong position to be able to be okay with the way she slung her over there, and she had her neck. So when she slung her over, you saw the neck break at that time, and her head dropped down like that, and the top part of her back was bowed. You can see the injury. Her back was broken, and her head was off of her shoulders. It was dangling down in her chest, and then she kept hitting her head, and you see her head bouncing around like a bowling ball, and she kneed, right? So we saw her head bouncing around from that. And then when she slung her down like that and she sat up, like, I'm not sure if you've seen those big stuffed animals, like at the carnival, those big old stuffed animals, they just kind of sit down on their bottom. They just not stand up, but they sit up like that. That's how she sat up. If you was knocked out, you would slump over, right? But being paralyzed, that means everything stops. So that's why when she flopped down like that, that's how she stayed. How she laid was how she stayed, because there was no more movement after that.
Yeah.
None.
I have to show you this video. Let me see if I can. Are you able to put it up on your end?
Yeah. If I get the video, like people have been sending me video. I just can't open whatever app you sent it on. I downloaded, it's not opening. I don't have the software to open it up.
Okay. Because I don't want you to get demonetized if you were to put like the full fight or something.
Gotcha.
Like my one was like edited in a way that you didn't see the bottom part.
Okay.
It's blurred anyway, but still.
I think if we see the one video that you did, the part you're talking about is still going to be in there. It may not be in slow motion like you.
My video is fully blurred, so it might be a little bit challenging to see.
Okay.
But we can try.
Okay. And that way, you know your video. And let's see here. I got it on my doc here. And I know because I had
video file.
You see it?
Yeah, let me see if I can get my. Okay, hold on one.
Oh, I think somebody's helping us here. Let's see, attached to the nerve. Okay, no, I thought it was telling me how to get up here. Oh, okay. Somebody. I think he can attach it to the StreamYard backstage. Yeah,
I just did that. Okay, so here it is.
There we go.
There it is. I don't know how to.
That's it right there.
All right.
All right.
It's kind of the worst editing for me, actually.
Oh, that's okay. All right, so you said it's blurred, right? And then we kind of deep up in here. I don't think we'll get caught. Okay, here we go, y'all.
Someone's chat is kind of in the way. M Max thing is covering the rest of the video. I don't know if that's like for you on your end, or can you see the full thing?
Yep, there we go.
Okay.
Alright.
That is so hard to see. But did you hear? Let me try to get another video.
Okay. I didn't see anything, but I could hear definitely.
Okay. I'll quickly see if I can. Okay. So when you stop it at the first part, you actually see her arm. So at 0 seconds, if you could pause it at the 0 seconds, can you see her hand?
I can't see anything but the carpet here, the floor and the carpet.
Yeah, same with me. I don't know why it doesn't show the full video.
Okay.
Because there's another part where you can actually see her arm like this.
Oh, okay.
On this end, you can't see it, and I don't know why. Can you make it a full screen? I don't know. Is there a way to make it a full screen on your end?
I thought I just did.
Oh, it is, but it's not like you can't see the rest of it, like the rest.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense.
Right. No, it's not giving me that option to, this is the view that is in here.
Oh, damn.
I think your other video might show what you
okay, let's give that a try.
See
if that helps.
Yeah. All right, let me find it.
Or maybe I can edit it in a way over here to make it. I might be able to do that. Let me try.
This right here is one of my.
Okay, I think this is a lot more better. I'm going to export that so I can send it to you. Okay. Her arm too. I've actually edited it on my video editing software to make it smaller. So if I send it to you now, the full thing should fit on the screen. So I'm going to do that. Send it to you now. Present video. Your computer. Whoops. No. Present video file. Okay. Boom, boom. I got it. Okay, perfect. Okay, I'm just gonna click it now. Okay, there's the other one. I'll close down the.
Alright.
Okay, so pause it at the 0 seconds, like right at the start.
Is this the same one?
Yeah, it's the same one.
Oh.
You gotta pause it though right at the start. If you can go. I can do it.
I think you do
cool.
it. There we go.
I didn't know I could do it. Okay.
Yeah.
So can you see her arm? She's actually holding her hair here.
Oh, okay. I see it now.
And then she moves it back. So it's in slow mo. I don't know if this is slow enough though, but
right there.
Look, she actually flips it back.
That's her.
See how she flips it back like that?
Yeah, that was, it just looks like that, but that's her hair already going back from the motion, and her hand was kind of mechanically moving up. It looks like it, but that's not her. She's not moving. There's no movement there. Everything is yeah.
So basically, it's from the brain sending the leftover signals.
It was just the motion that the body was already going into, and then that's why it looks so stiff. And both the arms going up at the same time just lets you know that that's how those signals kind of work all together. That's why it wasn't off. It was together, almost like she was a puppet on the string.
Is it possibility that she probably fell backwards afterwards?
Nope.
No.
Nope. She just how we saw her lying like that, sitting slumped over like in that frozen position. That's exactly how the maid reported that she found her. Because I was trying to explain to people that paralysis is different from just being knocked out, right? Because certain positions you can't. If she was just knocked out and she was had sat up, she would have flopped over. But because she had the paralysis, her body was like almost cemented in this position. It's just stuck like that. When I'd work with the paralyzed patients, once you put them in the position, they're going to be just like that until you come back to change them. There's no moving. There's no the arm will slide down. Nothing. It's just almost like you're just frozen.
Yeah. Wow, how sad.
Yeah, and you can't fake that position. Like if she hadn't have been paralyzed, when she flung her over, you would have saw her leg maybe kind of tuck in. There would have been something because your brain would have tried to have you protect yourself from the fall. So you would have moved your body in different positions. But because she had no control over her body when her neck was still being held and she's being thrust over, how she lands was in that that position like that. And then after that, no more movement, no screaming, no yelling, no nothing, because without oxygen, you can't make sounds.
Yeah.
Not making sounds.
Usually, and to add on to your point as well, usually in fights, right, especially if she came back to hit her, she would have been on the ground.
Yeah, something like that. She would have curled up in a fetal position. You don't just sit there like this, but she couldn't do anything. She just sat like this. Yeah. And the way you see her back broken and her head way down here.
I'm actually opening it for myself to see it again. Oh. Yeah.
He was viciously attacked. Viciously.
Wow.
Yeah, it was sad. Super sad.
Yeah, seeing that. Oh, it's crazy how they
can. Two stories. Someone says, Al Glamour says, I thought the maid said she had clothes on and was in the bathroom. Yeah,
that's what Nazir was told by the others. That's what Nazir says. He says that the others told him he was found slumped over in the bathroom.
Right. But then we heard the maid said, I mean, not the maid, but the interpreter said that the maid said that she found her sitting in the bedroom in the same position that we saw her in, because, you know, like I was trying to explain, I don't think anybody there dressed the body, because trying to dress a paralyzed body is difficult. It's really hard. And then one that's injured like that, it takes a strong, special person to be able to grab a person and their head is off of their body. Like that's not an easy something to do. Or to try to move a person and their back is broken. Who's touching that? No one's going to touch a person like that. I'm sure that probably scared and shocked the crap out of them because how fast it happened.
Yeah.
It happened fast. And, you know, within the first 5 minutes, she probably would have already passed out because lack of oxygen, you know. And
so it's actually hard to dress someone like that. Like, because there were two guys, do you think they were able to like just force the clothes on her, or if she was dressed?
It would have been difficult because the way you'd have to manipulate the body to pull the clothes on and everything. And then like, you know, I'm not saying that it can't be done. It's just difficult. Like if it takes me, a trained nurse, an hour to get a quadriplegic patient dressed, because you have to log roll them like in a unit and put the things on and move up. What I'm saying is that if they were trying to just dress a body that's, you know, a person's gone, maybe. But because her head is knocked off of her body, that's enough to freak a person out. Who wants to try to, how do you know where to touch? Like that would weird you out if you saw my head just in a slump, off my body and my back broken. That's why I believe the maid did see her in that position, because nobody was coming up there trying to touch after that, because who wants to do that? Who even knows how to do that? And then to have that be your, you new to this, you're not just, freely going over there, doing that. And then, like I said, those bodies are super heavy. They're heavy and they're not, moving well. They're not, moving easily. It's not like trying to even put on something somebody's sleepy or they're asleep, because even if you're just sleep or something like that, your body is still doing things to help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How many people does it take to move a body like that when you were working?
We, usually when I worked in the home health, I'd have to do it by myself. So I know, that's why I'm saying it takes a long time. When you're at the person's house, but you don't really have a team. And I was taking care of 6'2", 200-pound dead weight men that had been shot in the gang violence and, left being paralyzed.
Wow.
And, you just have to take your time, but it's not easy. It's not easy. So I don't see them taking, 45 minutes to an hour to figure out how to get clothes on a body that's all broken up too. I think they would have been scared to touch her, especially seeing somebody's head knocked off. That is, that's very traumatic. I don't see anybody saying, hey, yeah, let's go try to, let's do some things here. Let's put some clothes on her. I think once they brought their excuse, they're fine with that. We've already paid the authorities for our, excuse. We're going to say alcohol poisoning. I don't see them spending more time to, move the body or make it look more real. I don't think they wanted anything to do with touching the body after that. You were going to say something?
That's crazy that the doctor, Katrina is her name, did not see that.
Yeah, they did. That's why I was thinking, but I hear what you're saying too, because I wasn't aware that these doctors were making house calls. So I was thinking like, whoever wrote that was definitely not a real physician, because why would they say that they spent an hour, 2 hours there working with a critically injured patient? Like, nobody does that. You get to a scene and somebody's in critical shape. You're not trying to do nothing but stabilize them and get the airway going so you can get them to the hospital, because they need surgery. Her head needs to be attached back to her body now. We don't have time to be waiting and saying, let's see if we could start an IV. No one's making any type of treatment plan on the ground there, because this is an emergency. We can't do nothing here. You need surgery. You need to get to the hospital. That's why I'm like, this is fake. Nobody does that. Nobody's going to spend no hour doing CPR in the field. You're not. Do you know how tired, you working up sweat. This ain't easy. And then too, who wants to try to do CPR on somebody that's all broken up? That's not fun. You cracking ribs. CPR ain't fun, y'all. This is physical. We breaking ribs when we compressing your chest. Crack, crack, crack. Yes. So I don't see them doing that. And then this whole lie about 14 rounds of and they gave all these drugs. How? You didn't have an IV access. There's no epinephrine. There's no what they call it, adrenaline. You ain't gave no adrenaline. How? And who's walking around carrying adrenaline with them? So the doctors are going, adrenaline or epinephrine, which is what it is. That's a special drug for, CPR, right? Special drug. It's not like you're walking around with that. Even in the hospitals, we have to get a crash cart with a box specifically that has the medicines for when we're doing these codes. You're not walking around with this in your pocket. Where did they get the medicine from?
Would it be in the emergency vans?
Nope.
Really?
The doctor came on their own. Yeah, if the ambulance come, they're going to have those drugs.
No, the doctor came in and an ambulance came after. So it was her. She came at first, and then afterwards, I believe it was like they call it the Red Cross.
Uh-huh.
They came after. They came, I believe at the same time as the police came. I'm not too sure. Or they came and the police was behind them. And that's when the guys, the Cabo 6, was told to step outside of the villa while they were trying to do whatever they were doing to Shanquella.
Which should have been pronouncing her dead on arrival. Because we know that after receiving that injury, the life expectancy, the lifespan is 15 minutes. 15 minutes. We saw the injury 15 minutes after the Dejanay person slung her over by her neck and snapped her neck and then continued to brutalize her. 15 minutes after that, she was finished. So these people that came over an hour or so later, the doctor, all lies. The emergency people, all lies. The police, all lies. She was already gone. There was no signs of life. They weren't able to establish a pulse. They didn't feel any respirations. They didn't feel a pulse. There was nothing. There was no signs of life. They saw a corpse. They saw a body. The rest of that's all lies. All lies. So we don't even have to worry about that because we saw the injury 15 minutes after that. Boom. The rest of it's all stories.
As well as that, I did research. I did a video on this. The sun path. I was trying to figure out, was this in the morning or in the afternoon? Because they both, when the sun rises and sun sets, it looks the same, right? So I was able to work out the position of the villa and where the villa was facing. And I got an app called the Sun Path. I was able to tell exactly where the sun rose and where the sun set. And when that fight happened is when the sun rose. So it was in the morning when that happened.
Yeah.
She would have died in the morning.
Yeah. Another YouTuber had picked that out too. And she had some type of app where she was able to see the time the sun came up. And so she had a really good thought of what time it was, around 7:45 to 8 o'clock in the morning time when this whole thing happened. Yeah. So if they got there in the afternoon, she was already probably stiff with rigor mortis. That's why she was in that position that she laid in, because nobody moved her after that. So she probably sat like that whole time. And by this time now, she's got the rigor mortis. So there's definitely no moving. There's no moving after that.
They did. Nazir claimed as well that she was in the game room. So if they did move her, they moved her to the game room. And then they moved it to the living room, which means he put himself in a deeper hole. So how can you not notice all that when you moved it from the game room? And the game room to the living room, you have to go through the kitchen. Oh. You have to go past the kitchen, the little eating area, and then the living room is right there. The game room was next to Shanquella's room. So that makes sense of if they did move her in the after that. That makes sense of why they moved it to the game room, because it was just like right next to her bedroom.
Gotcha. Yeah, that was all lies. You know what I mean? It would have been too much work trying to drag the body around like that. And then, like I said, with that back being broken, even if we two tried to pick her up, when the weight of her body would have broke on that spinal like that, and she buckled in like that, they would have that would have freaked no. Nobody is that strong to be doing all that. And then there was girls up in there too. They would no.
Even with I don't know, there were two. Wasn't there was not Nazir because he came later. There was
it still was two guys. It would have been
two guys and three girls.
Right. What I'm saying is that how her body was damaged, she had a break in the spinal, her back too, right? Her back was broken. So if they would have tried to lift her, just the sight of her head flopping down off of her body like that should have weirded out just regular people, right? And then if we trying to grab her, she would have buckled even more because of the break in the back. So I'm saying, like, if we trying to carry her, can you imagine now? I wish I had something to show. So this is the body here, right? And then there's a break. So I'm gonna kind of cave in, and then my head falling off too. Who was gonna continue? Where am I holding? How am I? How are we doing this? She would have crumpled up so much to where, not saying that it couldn't have been done, but it would have required a lot to be able to do that. They would have been like, oh, no. Who want to do that? That's the last thing most people want to do, even in the hospital, is to handle the dead body. Nobody want to do the aftercare. Nobody want that, because in case something happened, they do a move. People get weirded out on that kind of stuff. Even you know, me with all my experience and stuff, you know, when these bodies do the thing afterwards, sometimes they do, it's not fun. Like nobody is trying to do that. And then, like I said, when we had to move the traumatic ones that, you know, like a smashed head or, you know, somebody's legs that was trapped under, you know, got ran over by a car, that was never fun. Never fun. And then you have to have something to keep the parts that's broken up together so they don't just flop off. You know, my arm can be straight because my bones are intact, but if this is broken in half, this arm is gonna look like this, but it's not gonna be my wrist. That this break is gonna be here. Who, you know, so if somebody try to grab me and I'm broken up here, you know, who's you can't.
Yeah.
So because
I think they probably didn't want to go to Mexican jail, and they were probably like, you know what? We have to do this, you know? And maybe because that's why all of them are quiet now, because they went through that experience and they're like, yeah, we all are part of this now. We can't say nothing. You knew she was dead. We moved the body together. We all touched her. So it would probably...
I think they thought, I mean, I think they already knew that they were going to have this alibi. I think that that's why they planned to do it there, is because they figured we're going to give them this alibi. You know, we know Mexico is corrupt. We just throw them some money and we get the chance. You know, they left. They let them leave because they paid them off.
Yeah.
So if we already paying for our alibi, why am I bumbling around with a body? Why am I trying to do all this other stuff? I already paid the alibi. I already called the people and told them, hey, yeah, oh yeah, Quilla died of the alcohol. I'm good. I'm feeling good. Why am I going through all this extra stuff?
Yeah.
When it's going to be difficult. Ain't man one of us didn't dress nobody before, you know, and then it's all broken up like that too. Oh no. I believe that the maid is telling the truth when she says she found the body in the room sitting up on the floor.
Yeah.
They didn't touch her. They didn't touch her. And then once they didn't pay for their alibi, they excuse, why we got to try to cover up anything? We already did the cover up. Let somebody else handle it. They gonna take care of the body. Yeah. Handling the body is nothing like people just you know, unless you just some sick, morbid person. But then you thinking about the time, right? Because like I said, it used to take me an hour to get the guy ready, you know, putting on clothes. Do you know how hard it is to put shoes on a paralyzed person? I just want to feel like, look, ain't like you walk here. Why we got to put these shoes on? But, you know, they want the bodies to be dressed. I used to feel like, let's just put a sheet over you and just make it, call it a day. But, you know, so I'm just saying, like, I don't think they were sitting around trying to put the clothes on because they wouldn't have had, you know, to know what to do with it. And then by the body,
there were two nurses there, though, isn't
nursing assistant, a CNA, a certified nursing assistant. They have 3 months of training. 3 months of training. 3 months of training. Yes, they do ADLs, help people, you know, get dressed and do baths and all that stuff. But as far as like, you know, really working with real, you know, doing any real medical stuff or having any real medical knowledge, no, CNAs won't have that. They know how to take vital signs, how to clean and turn and reposition patients. But as far as any type of medical knowledge, they don't need any type of anatomy, physiology. They don't need any type of college credits to be a CNA.
Okay. With that knowledge, it might have maybe they were able to help them, because I don't think they paid for the alibi until later, if they did pay, because at the same time it's the corrupt system. They probably didn't even care. In my head, I'm like, did they know how corrupt it was?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, just like we said, the next day there was another femicide, and they said alcohol intoxication. This is what they do.
Yeah.
And they do these things like they'll unalive a person. I was telling them about my son's younger sister. She was found unalived in Arizona. It's about 3 states from where her birth state was. So since it was not in their jurisdiction, oh, she's not a resident here, nobody took up the case.
Wow.
They never even got her body back because she was in another state. So you a lot, like I was saying, people don't have the money sometimes. And so if you can't get the money to bring the body back, to get the autopsy or any of those things, you just at the mercy of, whatever they said.
Wow.
But people know this, and that's why they go drop the bodies off in different places. If you unalive a person in one state, and then people are smart, they know how to get away with it. Sometimes they'll even drop parts off in different places. So, the people people that's been committing these murders and getting away with, that's how they know how to do it. They know that you can take a body down to Mexico and just dump it over there, and then get away with it. This to me seemed like a planned and the perfectly executed plan, where they had the alibi and knowing that they was going to be able to get away with it. Yeah. But now that we have video, we can see stuff.
I think my opinion on it is that I think they planned to fight her, embarrass her, and I think they didn't expect that they were going to kill her. And then when that happened, it was like, oh shit. Because they filmed it. What type of idiot will film, the actual crime? So I think they wasn't expecting to kill her. And then once they did, they're like, okay, this is what we're going to do to cover everything up. And they had a whole day to think about it. Remember, it was in the morning. They had a whole day to think about it. And then they rung their mother in the afternoon and told her, oh, alcohol poisoning.
Well, okay. Now, I'm sure you've heard of this dark web, right? Do you believe that there's some people that have videos of people being unalived out there on the web? There's some people out there that post.
I do believe that, but I don't think that group were like that. I think I don't think they're out there, because usually when they go on the dark web, they do it to make some money as well. They'll sell certain things and sell stuff like that, I don't think that was the goal, to be like, let's film this and put it on the dark web or put it on the internet. I honestly feel like, let's Dejanay hit her. They're going to fight. We're going to have a good video and we're going to upload it and embarrass her. She's naked, etc., etc.
But the amount of viciousness that the attack happened, like, how did they think what she was supposed to just fly home with them after you just viciously attacked me like that? Like, the fight was the attack was so vicious and violent. How are we going to face each other afterwards? Like, what were you going to say to my parents that I'm coming back all banged? Like, how, if how could you say you didn't have plans to finish me?
I think they think that she was going to be alive. I didn't think they would think Dejanay will be able to cause that much harm to her. And when it happened, they're all about themselves, self-centered, selfish, don't care about nobody. And they were like, let's just cover it up. I'm not going to jail for this.
Yeah.
So, I don't think it was a plan to kill her, but a plan to, I definitely think it was a plan to beat her up and humiliate her online. But that's my opinion,
Right. I was thinking that too, but then I just kept asking myself, I was like, well, if they weren't planning to eliminate her, what was they gonna say afterwards? Did you think that she wasn't gonna call the police on y'all? I mean, like, I was supposed to just
maybe they thought she was gonna fight back. Maybe they thought she was gonna fight back and they just let the whole thing play out. And they just didn't give two fucks. Oh, sorry, they didn't give two Fs.
Beverly Foster, thank you for your super chat. Beverly says, it may be just a cadaveric spasm. The movement. You mean when he thought she moved her hair?
Yeah, maybe that's what she's saying.
But cadaveric mean that person already expired. So at that point, it hadn't been 15 minutes after the injury, so she wasn't expired at that time. So ain't no that's not a dead movement there. So No, I think that was just the momentum of the motion that she was in already, and then her being hit around and stuff like that. They teach you in nursing assistants how to dress a patient, so she had help to do that. Yeah, I agree. Like I said, nursing assistants, they do dress and all that stuff. However, my issue is that by the body being so damaged and injured, that it's highly unlikely that anybody would have felt comfortable to try to dress that body. I just don't see that. Like, I feel like they would have been wanting to be as far away from this body as possible, as far away as possible. And remember, rigor mortis didn't set in, so basically the body is a little light, so you can put clothes on her. But if she's a set about 3 or 4 hours, then it would have been a problem to put on. Not just from the stiffness, just from dressing a body. It's not easy. It's not easy. When you go to help somebody get dressed, they do stuff like, even a baby will help you. He's helping putting on the clothes with his limited, movement and stuff. There's still certain conscious move or even subconscious movements that you will go through because you are alive. So those things are not there when a person is deceased. So, but yeah, I understand, how everybody's feeling on these things. Okay, a new name here. Tatiana says it's hard to believe that with them causing damage to her while she was alive would have gone any extent to make it seem like she was just drunk, especially if they weren't expecting her to die. That's what I'm saying too. Like, if you weren't expecting this to be my demise, how are you going to explain, this brutish beating that I've received, these injuries? Like, how am I going to explain it? How are you guys going to explain, or how,
I feel it's because they expected her at that time to fight back. So they probably thought it was just going to be hair pulling. Who knows,
I don't know.
But I can't wait until they take her to court. And then once that happens, and hopefully we'll get the answers. Yeah. I'm hoping around that time I might be back in Mexico as well. And if so, I'll try to see if I can enter. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Because I think you might have to have a certain license, like a journalist license, to be able to enter those type of courts. Okay. But if I am around there at that time, which hopefully not, because I want it to be way earlier. But if I am, I'm going to see if I could enter and take some notes.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, that'd be extremely helpful. Extremely helpful. So see if I find any. Do you have anything you want to add to? Like, what inspired you to continue to, talk about it? I see you have several videos on your channel for Shanquella.
Yeah. What inspired me was just getting new information and stuff like that. So every time there's something new and I feel like I can add value to it, because you could just make easy videos or something, but I'm like, I need to have like something that I can update my audience with, or some type of new information, or some type of understanding of a situation. And that's what's been pushing me to make these type of videos, especially since I want to kind of go into this type of sector of YouTube with true crime, etc. and stuff like that. I think, that's what's got me making these videos. Actually, I gotta go now because it is 1 p.m. I need to go to the shop before they close. So
I thank you so much, and then let me know, and I'll come on your next live, or whenever you want me to come up. I will definitely come to you. Just tell me the time. I'll set my time.
I might actually use a little bit of this live for my video. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course. I thank you so much, for even coming over here and connecting. We appreciate you. Y'all show love. Not like you need subscribers. This guy has like over 300. I was so shocked. I was like, what, me? you to me? You have all these subscribers and all these views. I just really appreciate you taking the time to come over here on my platform. Appreciate
Oh,
you.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much to letting me come on your platform. I was a bit nervous at first. I'm like, is she gonna not want me on her channel because I was a drama channel? Well, I do drama. I don't know. You know, some people have some type of
this is
views
all
and
new for me. You know, up until November 26th, what the clip that you got, I was nobody. I didn't even know that what I said, people were making YouTube videos on it. That's when I started making. I was like, wait a minute, this person got 125,000 views on me. I need to be making the videos. Letting the horse's mouth get it, and then you know, and so I've been talking about it since then. But before then, this is a new, you know, this is all new for me.
Well, thank you so much. Keep making good lives. I appreciate you, and I'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you so much, Martin. Thank you. Wasn't that nice, y'all? That was awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so there we go. Now I am super proud that you know, we had Unbiased Unbossed up here too. So that was a real treat. But I'm excited that, you know, these creators, content creators are, you know, happy to come over here and show us some love here and show us some love. All right, so I'm just gonna wind down with these few little last comments here, and then